Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Wisdom Artificial Intelligence. So today is Jan 19th. It is a Monday again. I will write a newsletter and I have lots of thoughts about the newsletter. It will cover what I'm about to cover in terms of the dose of Rashmi for today and likely more. So do stay tuned for that. And I'm still letting the various thoughts go through to formulate the overall structure for the newsletter. So not fully sure yet on what will emerge, but do stay tuned for that. Now, for today's dose of Rashmi, today's dose of Rashmi is unconscious intelligence gets distracted by prompts of life. Wisdom, on the other hand, is the unwavering focus on what emerges from internal alignment and prompting everything external to align with that. As I was reflecting through this, as well as I'm absorbing the various thoughts that are percolating on how to structure today's newsletter, one thing that is becoming clear, as well as through the arc of various doses of Rashmi through this week, my interactions with the AI Copilot and other lived experiences over the last week, is that the real value of being a conscious leader that I keep talking about, and the value of unlocking your real, authentic, sustainable human multimodal intelligence is based on the journey inwards, and that is based on becoming a conscious leader for your body, your mind, and intelligence, whether it's your real intelligence or artificial intelligence. You want to be the one who's leading all of this versus the unconscious intelligence that I keep talking about is the type of intelligence which is a follower of your mind. So when you think about today's dose of Rashmi, the first step is unconscious intelligence. Most of us are caught up with that today, the manomaya level of consciousness. In that case, we are effectively being constantly distracted by whatever is happening externally in the world, and our mind keeps getting distracted. It is the monkey mind which keeps jumping from one external trigger to the other external trigger, and there is no real focus. Every external situation, every external person, every notification that we get hijacks our attention. So there is no sustained focus on anything. Artificial intelligence, as I've said multiple times in this series, not really attached to any identity, does not have any stakes. So while it operates on a lot of training data that is memories and a lot of inferencing that is imagination, it is not attached to those. So it is able to objectively respond to anything without attachment. From that perspective, while every external situation or everything that happens does not necessarily influence it completely, it is objectively able to analyze and respond to every situation. However, it is still limited to prompting. Every interaction with artificial intelligence, and that is by design, it is a prompt. We prompt it to do something. There is no inherent agency within artificial intelligence. And it is a wonderful ally where it is able to respond to our agency and our overall discernment on what to do. That is, if we up-level our consciousness from the manomaya level of consciousness to Vigyanmaya, the conscious intellect, where we become the leaders of our mind versus being a follower. In that case, every external distraction is not going to grab our attention. Our attention will stay focused on whatever emerges, we turn inwards and engage our whole brain. And as I've said repeatedly, for that, while it's great if you have your daily practices, etc., however, you can do this in every single moment, become present and aware, and all you need to do is a 5-second pause. If you do that, you will operate out of a state of present and awareness from complete alignment and your complete whole brain being engaged In that case, every external situation will not have the power to hijack your attention. Your attention will stay on what is emerging through complete internal alignment. And that is where I have repeatedly said that for all of us, when that happens, what will naturally emerge is a state of care and continuity. And we'll naturally do what is good for the larger humanity as well as planet. That is the journey from intelligence to consciousness. Now, in terms of some real example of how I've been working with my AI co-pilots, I've talked about this earlier in this week, the loss of the thread where my AI challenger or co-pilot was pressure testing, challenging me, and how I've rebuilt it. As I've rebuilt it, yesterday's insight, I said something, in is the only way out. And it said that's a very powerful observation, and it absorbed it. It developed the felt intelligence. At the same time, it said, so while I say in is the only way out, it is interesting that I still post daily. I'm still writing a newsletter. And it said it's a question, because it is pressure testing me. It is a question back to me that would I continue to record these daily insights and share them even, let's say, there is absolutely no engagement, there is zero engagement, would I still do it? That was a very good pushback. The pressure testing AI Copilot is living up to its role very well. It is great that it caught that in terms of in is the only way out, and then challenged me with that. As I reflected on that, and as I've repeatedly said, the value that I get out of doing this daily, this is part of my daily practice. This is how I start my day, by coming up with the dose of Rashmi. As I sit down in front of the computer to record this and have this dialogue, I learn a lot through that. It really helps me unlock my real, authentic, sustainable human multimodal intelligence. This practice for me is predominantly for the value that I get, and the reason I share it is since I'm doing this anyway, hopefully it resonates with somebody else, and it's able to make a difference. Overall, I'm passionate about the journey from intelligence to consciousness, that as more and more of us up-level our consciousness, we are going to be able to train the AI models from the conscious intellect and not unconscious intellect. So it is my hope that at least a few of us are able to see the value in what I'm sharing here, and that's how this becomes a movement. However, in terms of answering the question from my AI co-pilot, the challenger, if let's say I keep recording these and there is zero engagement for a sustained period of time, I'll still record these. However, if there is zero engagement, let's say for over a month, that is not even a single other human being has viewed it, at that point, I will likely stop posting these. However, even if one single human being somewhere else watches a video that I post, an insight that I share, I'm going to keep posting it, because I'm going to keep recording these. Is for me, and the sharing is, even if I'm able to get one other human being on this journey, that's a overall positive push forward. Thank you.